Hi, welcome to the second part of electrostatics session. In this session, we are going to talk about the charge distribution of charges on a given object. Whenever we talk about an object being charged, depending on what is the object, you will have charge distribution. Supposing if I have the charge in the form of a line, maybe a conducting wire you are having, or maybe a line charge, or a metallic rod we are having, and that charge is on the surface of the object, this charge will be distributed along the entire length of that particular metal rod or a metal wire. So in this case, what will remain constant is the charge per unit length, that will remain constant, and this charge per unit length is called as linear charge density. It will be mostly represented by this symbol called as lambda. This will be the symbol for that. This linear charge density is actually equal to, if I am saying that L is the entire length of the object and Q is the charge, then this lambda is equal to Q divided by L. Or if I take into consideration a very small length dl of an object over which the charge dq resides, then for that particular length of the conductor or for any general object, the linear charge density at that particular point is equal to dq by dl. So if I have to find what is the total charge, that total charge is either equal to lambda times of L, or it can even be considered as line integral of lambda dl, or it's 0 to L length lambda dl integral. If I talk about what is the other thing called as surface charge density, if you say you have got an object and the charges, as we said, are always going to reside on the surface of a conductor, and that there will be no excess charge, static charge inside the metallic conductor. So the charge will be distributed over its surface, and if I have my surface to be a uniform surface, the charge also will get distributed uniformly on that, and that surface charge density is defined as the charge per unit area. It will have, you see, formula as it's denoted by sigma, where sigma is equal to q divided by s, or if I take into consideration a very small surface area ds on which charge dq resides, then this sigma is equal to dq divided by ds. Because it's charge upon area, its SI unit is going to be coulomb per meter square. So this will be its SI unit, whereas the total charge on a given object or on a given surface can be considered to be equal to surface integral of sigma ds. That is how we will be using that. Whereas if you take into consideration the charges to be distributed over a certain region of the space, then we define a term called as volume charge density that comes into picture. We will denote it by rho, and that term rho is equal to, it is q divided by, of course you can take it as volume v, or very small region if I consider it as dv. Here it's considered as tau, no problem, but usually we will consider it as v or dv. So that rho is equal to, it is q divided by, instead of this we will be having v here, or it is rho is equal to dq divided by dv. So the total volume, the total charge on a given volume, it will be equal to, you see, volume integral of that sigma dv. That's what we are going to have. Now in the next session of electrostatics, we will be talking about what is meant by electric field, then what is the electric field intensity or the electric field strength, and how much is the electric field intensity due to a given point charge. Now first of all, what do I mean by an electric field? To understand this, we take into consideration, let's say, two charges. In this figure we are observing that this is one charge q, the other is charge q0. When I have this charge to be positive, even the other charge is positive, I am considering here this q0 to be a small test positive charge. This charge q0 experiences a force of repulsion in this direction. It will experience a force of repulsion F in this direction towards right hand side. The reason behind that is, if I have any other charge, maybe minus charge over here, this minus charge will have a force of attraction towards this. If you have any other positive charge here, it will have a force of attraction, repulsion on this direction. Instead, if this charge plus q was somewhere here, it would have had a force in this particular direction. It would have had force in the direction q to q0. So what I find is that whenever any charge comes near the other charge, there is either a force of attraction or the force of repulsion on it, and that is basically explained on the basis of electric field concept. Like, we all are staying in the earth's gravitational field, and that is the reason we all are experiencing the force of our weight. So our weight can also be explained in terms of gravitational field concept. So here we talk into consideration electric field. We have something, or maybe heard of something called as magnetic field lines. Similarly, we also talk about Faraday's electric field lines. So electric field is a region of the space around a charge or a system of charges within which the other particles of charge, they will be experiencing a easy force of attraction or repulsion. So theoretically this field will be extending up to infinity, but practically it will be limited up to certain distance, and in such a particular way that as you move away from this charge q, the force will go on diminishing or reducing. So that is why the electric field near this point charge plus q is going to be greater in this particular region. But if you have this, if you move away from this charge, the electric field will keep on decreasing. So that's what the field concept is. Now how do I understand what is meant by field and whether the field is stronger field or it's a weaker field? It is very obvious that if the force acted upon by a test charge, this q0, if this test charge experiences a greater force, it means that this field is stronger. Instead of this position, if I take this charge plus q0 at this point over here, the moment I take it here, this charge is going to experience a greater value of force, and that's how I can understand कि from this region यहाँ पर ज़्यादा electric field strong रहेगा. Whereas if I move away from here, there will be a less value of electric field. So electric field is defined in terms of the force experienced by that particular charge, and we are going to define this electric field as the force acting per unit positive test charge. If you look into this particular equation, that vector E is equal to limit as delta Q tends to 0, it's F divided by Q0. This. So that is how you are going to have it. Now if I use simple law of Coulomb's law, if I use, this force is going to be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q1 q2 divided by r squared, where this q1 is plus q, q2 is this. So if I put these values here, I just have this 1 by 4 pi, instead of this f, I have 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 capital Q small q0 upon r squared entirely divided by this q0 we are having. Then this q0 gets cancelled in that Coulomb's law term, and what we are left with is the equation E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 only q divided by r squared in terms of magnitude. यहाँ तक ही आएगा सिर्फ. This will be its magnitude. Whereas this r cap here is showing you the direction of the electric field, and it is very easy for us to understand the direction of electric field. You all have to just keep in mind that electric field is always going to be in the radially outward direction for a positive charge and radially inwards for a due to a negative charge. So that's what you just have to take into consideration. We can also try and understand it by a field concept. Now this graphs are showing that how much is the, you see, force acting per unit charge, and then it will give you what is the electric field intensity. This second graph is showing that as the distance keeps on increasing, the electric field decreases in the inverse square proportion. Well, it's almost time up for the end of the second video as well, so we'll stop here.